Welcome to your yin moment. I don't know where to start exactly because this is going to be my first series in English, but also this year is my third season of Tu Momento Yin, the Spanish podcast that has been going on since 2024 when I started. The idea of creating this podcast was always to just have a space for people who hold spaces for others, to inspire, to remember people that there is professionals and people passionate out there caring for others. And probably also like a place where we could build community, have unfiltered conversations about everything and anything, and just bring everybody into one space to share what we are passionate about. So here I am, giving it a try in English. I'm Spanish, so English is not my mother language. And I am married to a British. And actually, he was the one who encouraged me to just give it a try and dare to go out there and interview people in English. So I'm very excited. As nervous as I am with this first episode, which I didn't know exactly how to present. And actually, I just sat down here in my studio and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it and go for it. So, yes, thanks to my husband's encouragement, here I am. Also, I'm very lucky because even my first podcast was launched in Spain, where I'm based. Let me tell you a little bit also about who I am. My name is Aida. I am from the area of Barcelona in Spain. And I've been a police officer for many, many years. Yoga was actually one of my most important tools to survive my job, basically. I have loved all my life my job. I became a police officer because I was a firm believer that through small acts could the world become a better place. And I have to admit in today's episode, not to sound any negative, but I'm a little bit disenchanted with society and probably losing faith in society. But that I'm going to leave it on a side for a moment, just hold there, because as I was saying, thanks to yoga, I managed to maintain a good balance between mental health, stress, and also physical work at my job. Literally, I've said that yoga have saved me in many, many moments of my life, but probably the biggest test was a ski accident I had in 2016. 16, I think it was 2016, I don't remember now exactly. But thanks to yoga, I managed to survive the pain, the rehabilitation, the operation and everything. I totally destroyed my shoulder, my right shoulder, affecting also my right hand. And the doctor said I would not be able to lift my arm 100%, that I would have a limitation and I would not be able to do the 100% of my movement on the shoulder. Well, thanks to yoga, I managed to recover 90% of this movement. Doctors could not even believe it. And I went through pain also, thanks to mindfulness and meditation, is when actually meditation entered on a full-time basis in my life. I started exploring even deeper my practice, not only yoga, but also I went quite into Buddhism and Taoism. I traveled through Asia for different years, exploring what Buddhism could do for me. And even I'm not a Buddhist practitioner, I have introduced many Taoism and Buddhism ideas into my life and rituals that up until now they're still following me. But yoga became a big part of my life as from that moment. I had always practiced yoga somehow, going to classes or at home, but it was more like a sport practice. Never took it into the level of thinking that could support my mental health until I was aware that it was supporting my mental health and, of course, my physical well-being due to all the clothes and elements we carry day-to-day basis. So I decided to study, go deeper on my studies. I got my trainings, and every time I got into more and more until the day I started teaching. I dared to go there and offer whole space to other people. And actually, I was not aware that I was already doing that at my job. And for many years, I worked with trauma survivors in many aspects. And I've seen the benefits of yoga, mindfulness, and all kind of well-being practices that we do and introduce into our lives. And I love communicating, I love writing, I love expressing myself about how I feel and also how I see the world. So actually the podcast was born out of this, out of my curiosity about my investigation on alternative and holistic therapies, and out of this internal revolution that was starting in myself about wanting to reach people and let them know how important was our mental health and well-being. We live in a totally disconnected world, and I will go deeper now in this episode because as a first episode of the podcast, I wanted to tell you a little bit where I'm coming from and who I am and how this was born, but also what really inspired me to start this journey. So actually, in this first season of the English series, I would love to bring you as many professionals as possible for you to meet them, for you to learn from them to share with us their experiences, not only in the mat, but also out in their lives. So I'm very excited because I've got really important people for me. They're going to be in the podcast, and I'm very honored to have them in the podcast because for me, somehow they've been a really big part of my inspirational path and also of my learning path. So for me, as I always said, I'm a teacher, but I'm first a student. And I think I will always be a student. I will always want to learn more and more. And what I love about the job I do is I'm holding space. I love holding space for any person. I love giving this room, this space for people to discover, for people to listen, for people to observe, and most of all, for people to connect. Because, as I said at the beginning, and it's not something I want to attract attention with, not at all. It's just because I've carried this inside me now for quite a while. And also maybe I think it's because of my job. It's because I see the wars of society every day. And I'm trying to keep my positive thinking and my resilience alive above all this negativity that we're living. But I find myself suddenly, nearly at my 50s, on a society where image is everything. We have deleted any feelings, any true emotions, any true actions for everything that we want to just show. And it's because, and that's why I say, it's because we are totally disconnected. We don't know who we are anymore. We have lost our true essence. I see kids nowadays on the streets walking around, everybody looking on their mobile phones. I mean, if you travel around on public transport, you will see it more than ever. I mean, I see it in the cars too, but in public transport, it's just terrible. You don't see anybody anymore looking up. Everybody's looking down. And that really hurts me. It hurts me in a way because we are so disconnected from everything that even our well-being, when we go on and we say, okay, we're going to do something physical to be more healthy, like I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to do things, we expect a machine to do everything for us. And that, I've never been a lover of gyms, I've never been a lover of machines, and I've never been a lover of indoor sports. I love to do everything outside and outdoors if I can. I love the mountains, I love hiking, I love skiing, I love just being in nature as much as I love practicing yoga outdoors. But the thing is, we are all day behind these screens. And you're going to think now, okay, Aida, but you're talking in a podcast. I'm watching you or listening to you through the radio or through Spotify or wherever platform you're listening to me, through a screen. Yeah, of course. But how can I get to you otherwise? I would never be able to get and reach you there at your home. I mean, I would love to do live talks and go around the world and inspire people, and probably one day I will do that, I'm sure. But I am afraid that most of the people, they don't know they are disconnected. If you ask anybody how you feel, they get shocked. They're like, what do you mean? What do you mean how I feel? How you feel? That they don't know what to answer you. They don't know how to put words to emotions. And this is why this podcast is today live. It's because out my private revolution that wanting to see a better world, a better place to grow our kids, to grow our youngs and ones, and to become different persons. Because sometimes I imagine this world, I don't know if you've seen images of what is happening in most of the biggest cities around the world, America, South America, Europe, with this new drug, fentanyl, that is creating like these zombie worlds that really freaks me out. It's like, what is going on? And it's because we are feeling so much pain within ourselves that we don't know how to manage this pain. And we just try to hide it with drugs, alcohol, and any addictions that they disconnect us even more from what we're really feeling. And it's because superficiality is the new norm. It's the new norm. You just have to scroll over social media and you only see these perfectly lives. Everybody happy. When behind that, there is just sadness and emptiness. And I see that. Not long ago, I went to a service at my work. I was working, it was a Sunday, and they call us that a woman tried to commit suicide. So we arrived there, emergency services were there already, medical assistants, and I entered, and oh my God, I saw this super young girl living in a beautiful house, and she was totally unhappy. We talked to their parents, and they told us that, well, she was not very well for weeks. And then, after all that service, which we have probably a few a week, if not a few a day sometimes, of this kind of services, we found out that this was a very famous Instagrammer, that all she showed in her Instagram was just happiness. And then you think, oh my God, is that the same girl I saw there? She looked nothing like she looked in her socials. So she was suffering so much to achieve what she had for herself created, that actually that was just totally destroying her. And that is every day happening. It's happening in its schools, it's happening in relations, it's happening in families, it's happening everywhere. And it's this chasing for the image, it's chasing this perfection that we slowly, without even noticing, we are abandoning ourselves. We are abandoning our true essence. And our life becomes just a spectacle that wants to be performed and perfect for everyone. And then what my question is, where is the true essence gone? You know, some mornings you could see me in my socials. I would wake up and do yoga in pajama, because that's my practice. I wake up and I go on my mat and I do my meditation and I do my yoga and I do my morning rituals. And most of the days I'll do it in pajamas. I will not do it in perfectly outfits. Even I don't like all this, fashion around yoga that has exploded lately. I've always practiced yoga in my most comfortable clothes, you know. But the problem is, and I'm getting out of sequence now, but the problem is, this is not only happening behind the screens, it's also happening in real life. You know, relationships become so fragile. I mean, if you look at your parents, they would fight for each other, going through all the things they could just to maintain their relationship. And of course, I'm not saying that all relationships are perfect, because relationships are not perfect, and that's the point. Nowadays, we just give up when everything is not perfect. And my question is, what's wrong with imperfection? We are perfectly imperfect, and that's the beauty, you know. But the problem is that our emotions, they are full of filters. We put filters and filters, not only in screens, but I mean in real life, to a degree that we delete them, and we just not accept that we can be sad or angry or jealous, why can we not accept those feelings? They are real. We are humans. If we don't feel, we stop being humans. Don't stop somebody because he's crying and call it a drama queen. Let her cry if she wants to. Who are you to judge why she's crying? Everybody reacts different. And that's my point. We punish in place of just having that little tiny empathy. And again, I say I'm a very positive person. I have developed my resilience over the years because my mantra is flexible mind, flexible body. I think my chaos, my disorganization, and my impulsivity have been the best traits I always have. Because thanks to them, I have become very flexible. I adapt very quick to new situations. I accept very quick new situations. And I embrace change. And that, I think, it's a superpower. Because today I'm here, and tomorrow I don't know where I'm going to be. And I don't care. And for many, many, many years, I felt I was different. Because everybody around me, had exactly, they knew what they wanted, they went for it, and I never knew what I wanted, I knew I wanted to do something for the society. I knew I wanted to do something for the community and to help people. But, I have never been a person that settled in the same place for many, many years because I don't believe in that. I believe in movement. I believe in movement is life. I believe that movement is adaptability. And I think that we need to open our perspective and see the world in a very different way that we are seeing it most of the time, So it's never too late to start. It's never too soon to finish, and you are capable of doing anything you want. So do not ever let anybody tell you what you can do or not, because only you are the person who is capable of saying that. And that's my next point. We living in the age of the anger and the frustration. Because it's not only about image now, but also you don't need to go far and scroll a little bit down in your social media and see that at any platform you go, there is hate, there is criticizing, there is these doors that they are open right now, giving permission to grow this anger without any restraint. So we feel like, we are entitled to that. And without even knowing the person behind that screen, we are entitled to go there and spit out everything we want. But my question again is, why are we so angry? What is going on? Where comes all this aggression and this aggressivity, But I think that my husband is looking at me and thinking now that how can I talk so much? And it's true. But I think that it's not that people are feeling only frustrated. I think that people are empty. We are empty cups. And if the cup is empty, we feel like, we cannot give any more. I think also that a lot of people feel excluded because we are constantly told how to live, how to perform, how to produce. And this constant exposure and this constant doing for others and for showing to others, the comparison at the end, it creates frustration. And this frustration is the worst that can grow inside of you. Another thing that Buddhism told me, and that nowadays we are confronted in a constant basis, is we are forced into extremes. You know, left or right, good or bad, life or death. You know, there is not a middle point. They make us choose yes or not. And anyone who thinks different, it becomes our enemy. You know, we are incapable of accepting any other person's opinions. This could be your way, but it's your way. My way is this way. You know, everybody does things different. Everybody expresses themselves different. Everybody has different thinkings, you know, or ways of doing. And actually, this collective anger has begun to exhaust me, really exhausted me. And it saturates me because I try to understand it and I try to hold this anger constantly in my work. I'm not going to tell you, but something ends up really hurting me when I see it, you know, because I think, why? Why we grab our phone first of everything when we see pain, just ready to record that pain? Why we cannot extend our hand in place of our mobile? You know, I see it every day. I see people falling on the street or having a problem or an accident and people recording it. And it's like, I cannot believe that. And here we enter into the next stage of this conversation, that we have lost compassion and respect. Totally. Because if you would have that respect and that compassion, you would never record somebody in pain. You would never record somebody that is being hit, or somebody that has had a car accident, or somebody that is hurt on the floor, or even on an overdose from drugs. You would never record somebody if you are compassionate and respectful. So that is my point. And I think that respect comes from recognizing that dignity in others, you know, in thinking about would I like if they would be recording me when I'm on pain, you know, or in distress, or even when somebody shares vulnerability, you know, when somebody is crying. Who are you to record them? Why? Or angry, even angry, you know, it could be an explosion, you know. And I think this type of acts are this society that look for yourself, you know, look for yourself, individualism. You just care for yourself, this self-centered stage, and entitlement to everything and everything that you want in your life. But I'm just going to cut it short here because I don't want to bore you in this first episode of the podcast. But I wanted to just give you a reflection for today, because I think there is still hope for us in this world. And actually what we need is a rebellion. I have written actually a full blog about this, if you want to read it and you like to read a little bit more further. And there I just finish saying that we can start with these small acts of rebellion, you know, and we can slow down, read more, reflect more, observe more, listen more, give more, love more, care more, you know. There is hope, and I'm a firm believer that there is hope. And this is actually the goal of this podcast. bring people that inspire you, that motivate you, that show you that compassion, respect, self-love is still possible, that anger can be healthy if given the right space, that frustration, it just needs to be listened to like a little baby, that self-love is necessary, and that compassion must be worked every day in your life. And yes, I am disappointed in society, but I'm also hopeful, very hopeful, that we can do it, and that is on our hands to start these changes. So here I am, bringing my little cup of hope, and I am ready to begin. And I just want to know if you are ready to listen and to embrace this change. So thank you very much for listening today. And I hope you enjoy this English season. I'm gonna try to bring you as many professionals, as many subjects as I can. But as I always said, if you have any suggestions, or you want to propose, or even you think you are somebody you could bring some inspiration into the podcast and you want to talk here, please send me an email. On notes you have my email, my contact details, my socials, my website, so you can reach up to me and just please let me know your thoughts. So have a lovely week, and I'll see you here very soon. Bye-bye.